In today's video, I wanted to discuss with you guys a very important technique that you could be using in your interactions with girls that I don't see anybody using. Nobody is doing this thing. And if you were to start implementing this technique, it's going to dramatically increase the likelihood of you actually getting the hot girl. This is very important to do with really hot women. So, Doha, what are we talking about here?
We are talking about leaving the interaction.
Yes, so we're gonna be talking about takeaways or pulling away from the interactions in a couple different techniques that I'm gonna discuss with you guys here, and why this is so important, and more importantly, why the fuck nobody is doing this in the interactions. I think the reason why nobody does it is that, you know, when you finally do get into that interaction with the hot girl and it's going well and you guys are vibing, you know, the last thing you're thinking is like, let me leave the interaction now. It's kind of like counterintuitive to what most men would want to do in the interaction, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Which is why it's so important
For you to leave.
for you to leave the interaction. Have you ever been interacting with a dude and he just like blatantly fucking left the set and left you hanging?
Rare. Like,
Yeah.
so rare.
Like, you have no memory of it happening?
I'm sure like once, maybe once in my life.
How did you feel?
Fucking pissed. I think generally speaking, most women want what they can't have because
100%, yeah.
they're so used to every guy wanting them and every guy being thirsty.
Yeah, they're just salivating over
They're
them.
just over it.
When you're finally the dude that's not so
Yeah.
easily won over, it really makes you stand out. I'm sure you guys have experienced this before, right? You're interacting with a girl, things are going really well, right? And at some point in the interaction, she peels off of you from the interaction. Or maybe it even happened during the courtship. Maybe things were going really good and at some point she just went fucking cold on you. Probably made you want the girl more. Now that it became more of a challenge. So it's the same psychology when you're in the interaction with the girl. It's gonna make you appear as more of a challenge. It's gonna make you appear not needy, not thirsty. And again, to confirm the point that she said, most women want what they can't have. Or most humans want what they can't have, just generally speaking.
Yeah.
Right? So let's talk about some ways that we can do this in a kind of smaller techniques and then actually completely pulling away and what that looks like. On a smaller scale that I don't see guys doing is what I call like takeaways, okay? So what this would be in an interaction is that if we're talking and she says something, I actually pull my body away from the girl. I'll throw an example on the screen right now. As you can see on the screen right now, I'm interacting with Doha, and the moment she says something that I disagree with, that I dislike, that I don't fully 100% agree with, I can do what's called a takeaway, where I pull my body and my body language away from her, showing her disinterest with my body. Okay, again, I'm not talking about a full pulling away, I'm talking about what I call is a takeaway. And it's rocking away from the girl, giving her negative body language, disinterested body language, momentarily as I playfully disagree with the girl. That's one easy way you could do it. Another one is, I like to actually do is I'll literally push the girl away from me in a teasing manner. I may even turn my head away, or I may even roll my eyes, or I may even just like look in a playfully disappointed manner while I'm doing this. So one of them is me actually physically pushing the girl away in a playful manner. The other one is me actually turning my body away in a disinterested, disappointed, playfully disagreeing manner. Okay, and again, by doing this, it's not just constant positive emotional reinforcement for the girl every single time, which is what most men do. They're talking to the girl, it's going good, they're just locked in, fucking salivating, and it's all positive, 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 and that's how you're gonna end up pedestalizing the girl. So what I want you guys to start incorporating more of is what I call just a takeaway, okay? So it's either a push away, literally a push away in a playful way, or it's done as I'm turning away in disagreement. Okay.
And if you notice women's behavior, a lot of women naturally do this to men.
Yeah.
They naturally will be like, stop, or like, you're so dumb, or like, oh my God. Like, they naturally push you away.
Another one I like to do is in a playful manner when the girl says something, I'm like, okay, you know what, have a good night. And I'll turn around. I'm clearly joking, but I'll turn around for a half second. Yeah, like as if I'm leaving. You know?
Yeah.
So like any form of you ejecting from the set or just turning away or giving her that half second of, hey, I don't fully agree with everything you're doing, and I'm showing you with my body language that I'm not agreeing, I disagree, I'm giving you that negative body language, is actually gonna make her feel some kind of emotion that's not just pedestalizing the girl, which is really big and plays a big part in ultimately becoming more of a challenge with the girl.
Yeah, and it just shows you more of an alpha. Like if you're just constantly agreeing with her, it just shows that you don't have a backbone. And most women want a guy that has his own opinion.
1000%.
Has a backbone.
I just showed you guys a couple different examples of how you could do these takeaways or pushaways or just disagreeing and all this stuff that actually, you know, makes you become a little bit more polarizing, becomes more of a challenge, displays non-neediness. But I also want to talk about a bigger move, which is completely pulling away from the interaction. Okay, and again, you guys have probably experienced this. Maybe at some point it was going really good with a girl in an interaction, and then like her best friend showed up, or some other guy shows up, or some girl, her long lost friend shows up.
Or even she decides to go find her friends,
she
like,
just,
hey, sorry, I have to find my friends.
Right, she just pulls away. For some reason, she gets distracted, she gets disengaged, and she just ejects from the set. And she may not even be that far away from you. She might just be like right over there, or she's just talking to somebody nearby. She's just not giving you all the interest, and you're stuck there sitting like, fuck, like, how do I reopen this? Do I go in there? Or like, damn, is she gonna come back? And now I'm just sitting here looking like a fucking tool. Yeah. Do I get on my phone? Do I leave? What do I do?
And it's pretty hard. Like when you're having a good interaction with a girl that you're attracted to, it is hard to leave, but it will work better in the long run.
The last reason I think this is important is because if you don't do this, I promise you, she's gonna do it.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. Here's the thing, if you run a really good interaction, it's not uncommon that the girl could tell her friends like, oh, you guys can go to the bathroom, blah, blah, it's all good, I'm gonna stay with Kyle, this and that. But I would just say, generally speaking, especially when I've interacted with the hottest women, they are typically the ones that are more inclined to break off. They typically know more people at the venue. They're not just there to like lock in on some dude because they have a higher level of status. So understand this concept. The girl inevitably is going to leave the set at some point. If you know that, why wouldn't you proactively be the one that does it first instead of waiting for her to do it?
It'll never be a bad thing for you to walk away first. Like,
it's a high value thing.
Yeah, like a girl will never be like upset or angry that you left and did your own thing for a little while, like ever.
Yeah. She may be a little disappointed, which is a good thing, because then she's gonna want to see you again. Now I want to talk about how you guys can do this. There's a couple different ways that we could do this. I found the one that I do the most naturally is I've already been somewhat social in the venue, okay? And while I'm in set with the girl, I do this, what I like to call it's like a hot guy blasé, which is like I'm almost oblivious to the fact that I'm pulling away from the set. I'm not formally stating, hey, I'm gonna be leaving this interaction now. I'll come find you later. That is one way we'll talk about in a little bit. But it's almost as if I just get distracted. Okay, we're talking, maybe she said something and like I just had a very brief response. Ideally, somebody else is in the vicinity. And while I'm talking, maybe the sentence ended or that conversation topic ended, but like right when it ended, I just shifted my attention to somebody else that's nearby. The conversational topic ends, I shift over here and I was like, oh bro, what's good by the way? I didn't even see you earlier. I don't need to say anything to her. I just kind of peel